about how to develop that fusion phrasing skill. How do you go to the next level when it comes to phrasing, when it comes to rhythm? And rhythm is exactly what it's about. If I was playing a solo over rock, I wouldn't call it more basic, it's just less complex. And we love that in rock, right? But in fusion, we want to challenge that. We want to challenge what you would normally do. And that's the main rule you want to think about. What would you normally do in normal music? And then you do the opposite. So for instance, the first rule you can adapt to is that instead of starting everything on the on-beat, you start almost everything on the off-beat, right? If you have a song like, right? All these are the downbeats, right? On beats, So I would go, ba da do boom, ba da do do, ba da do da do, ba ba. Every time I start a new phrase when I'm soloing, it's dang dang do dang do, right? That's rock and roll, right? But when it's fusion, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, ba da do do, ba da ba da do do. Ba, 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 ba. You have that feeling all the time, right? So let me see what I got here. Nothing. so if I have a simple, let me see if I can just create something here. Right. So if this was rock, it sounds like rock, right? If this was rock, I would go. This is the beat, right? That's all the downstrokes. Right? But when we're talking fusion, I would go. Right? Right? So that is, if you hear it in jazz, you hear jazz music, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's offbeat all the time. Every time you or they start a phrase, you start it on when your hand is going up rather than down. So that's a crucial rule, and you have your practice routine right there, right? You simply say, okay, I'm gonna solo. Instead of practicing with a metronome, you can, if it's impossible for you to do with a backing track. But as soon as you can do it with a backing track, you basically improvise as you are focused on the offbeats, you could say, starting your line there all the time. And then also, the next characteristic of you could say, fusion soloing is that you want to be a little bit more abrupt in your rhythm, right? When we're talking pop and rock and blues, it's like everything makes basic sense, right? So you have a line that says, right? Right. Right? Everything has it's a normal sentence, right? You speak properly when it comes to music. In fusion, if you want to have that sound, right? I'm not saying you should, but if you want to have that fusion sound that we hear, then you're a bit more scattered. So instead of go ba deep, you go ba 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 da ba 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 do bo, right? That's a weird sentence. so that's basically what you want to do, and what I'll say then. Right? You hear that? I'm using the blues scale here, so it sounds like, blues, but it's just like da ba ba ba. And really, to be able to do that, you must practice your subdivisions, and that's basically a matter of going one. You tap your foot like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 with your hand, right? I'm slowing down here now, so I go. And I'm just playing random subdivisions or putting notes to some of the subdivisions, which is the discipline here, right? It's just faster. If I slow that all the way down, I go. And what we basically do in Fusion, you avoid every start, like we just said, we start on the up instead of the down, and every ending that sounds like it would be rock or pop or blues. So you do the opposite all the time. Instead of ending bo da ba da da bo, right? Makes sense in rock. But in Fusion you go 1, 2, 3, 4, ba dee do ba beep 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 do ba do ba dee do, right? So you break that up completely. And that's really a game, really, when you're practicing soloing. It really is a game of can you go into that zone of you playing around with the rhythm in some weird ways, right? So you surprise your audience all the time. That's why Fusion is less popular than rock music, you could say, because rock has more certainty. There are more rules, unconscious rules that we follow, right? And we follow them. And then there's some variety on top of that, so we have that combination, right? And in Fusion, there are also some rules, but we kind of break them all the time. So there's more variety over here and less certainty, less rules, less something we can count on. You know, in movies, in film, in mainstream films, you have a lot of certainty. You also have the same, you know, like Terminator movies. It's basically the same movie all over again, right? Every single time. Okay, what happens? You got the bad guys, you know, the corporation, you know, and he comes back from the future trying to save somebody from not, you know, all of the same elements, same story basically, with a little bit of change. So we have an enormous amount of certainty, an enormous amount of predictability, and then some variety, right? That's smooth, love it. It's a cake, right? Jurassic Park, that's basically the same movie every single time, isn't it? Right? We got something that works, and we got the big corporation that's trying to make money off of them, that has no, you know, feelings towards these animals, and then we have those the good guys who really feel for these creatures, even though they want to eat every person they meet, right? But so it's the same elements, and every single time it's the same thing that happens, right? Every single time. It's amazing. And we keep watching these videos or movies because there's a ton of certainty and a little bit of variety. That's comfortable, right? Over here in Fusion, it's like more a film that requires something of you. You have to really, okay, I am investing myself in this movie because I know it will be worth it, or I hope it will, right? So sometimes I don't know exactly what's going on. There's more uncertainty, more variety than I can handle, and I'm kind of confused. And then, something happens. Oh, a little bit of a surprise. Oh, that was nice, right? And also these movies over here, people watch a lot of times, while these over here, not so much, right? Same thing with Fusion, has stamina, but you know, it can also just be crap, right? Whatever, however complex it might seem, and however we might elevate that to art, it might still be just a bad, you know, solo or a song, but to you. But so what we want to do here is play around with the complexity of it, and that of course requires more skills, more rhythm skills is the basic, you know, the first thing. Also, we break up the scales. We put a lot of chromatics in there. So instead of just that's just the pentatonic scale, right? If it's Fusion, I would go. I'm basically just playing. 3 whole. It's not super complex. I'm just playing 3 whole tone intervals: the 7th and the 9th on the D, 7 and 9 on the G, and 7 and 9 on the C string, because I'm tuning in perfect fourth. So I got a C string and an F string instead of an E and instead of a B and an E string on this instrument here. And so what I basically do is just put chromatics in between. And with that, if I don't care about, you know, whether I'm sounding a little bit out, then suddenly I have all kinds of tension, much more variety than normal. Right? The final characteristic that I can give you is that you don't have to end your lines very definite, like a babu, right? You don't have to do that. Basically, most jazz musicians and also fusion guitarists and musicians, they mumble. They kind of right? And that makes it much easier not to make mistakes because you can kind of muddle the whole thing at the end. So you don't have to. In that way, rock music can be much more challenging because whatever you play, it's just, you know, it has to end on the right beat. Here, you can just go. Right? So you can go into it and out of it and really use those dynamics. Those were the subjects I chose for this video here. I hope that was beneficial to you. If you want to really break out of the rock sound and go into the fusion sound, this is a really good way to start. And practice these with a jam track in the background. My name is Claus and I hope you'll subscribe to this channel. It actually means something whether you do or not. We want to get that number up. And go download the free course below here in the description. And then I hope to see you in another video.